American Revolution, the tract was granted by the British to the Six Nations of the Grand River and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations as compensation for their role in the war and for the loss of their traditional lands in upstate New York. Of the 950,000 acres granted to the Haudenosaunee, less than 5% remains Six Nations land. Only 6,100 acres remains Mississaugas of the Credit land. We thank the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and the Chinantan for hosting us on their land. So welcome, everyone. And first, I'd like to start by welcoming our guests, Abdul Qayyum Ali and Stephanie Kessler, who are our two almost new board members. We look forward to having you join us for the next few hours and then officially bringing you on board later on tonight. So with that, I can confirm that we do have a quorum. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest? All right, seeing none. You have the consent agenda in front of you. It's not as lengthy as it appears, as quite a few of the committees did not meet over the past 3 weeks since our last board meeting. Would any board members like any items removed from the consent agenda for further discussion? All right, seeing none, may I have a motion to confirm the consent agenda, please? Tom, thank you. Seconder. Paulo, thank you. Any further questions, comments? Anyone opposed? Carried. And with the agenda, I do have one addition to the agenda. We are adding item 4.5, the VA update, and moving the CEO update to item 4.6. While there wasn't a VA meeting, there was the VA annual general meeting, which was held. So we've added that in so that Diane can give us an update on that. Are there any other items to be added? May I have a motion to confirm the agenda as amended? Miles and Jane, any additional questions or comments? Anyone opposed? Carried. Right. And with that, I will pass it to
Okay.
So,
it was called away on a family matter, and luckily an active member of our accessibility committee is Stephanie F. And so she said she'd happily step in and provide the accessibility plan.
Perfect. So thanks, bear with me as I'm going to give Leanne's wonderful notes and updates to you all and run the slideshow at the same time.
Okay.
You all would have seen the accessibility plan annual update in your packages. What Leanne has done for you here is highlighted just one kind of key thing from each of the themes throughout the plan. She wanted to note that year 2 of the transition from facilities and redevelopment portfolio and aligned to patient experience portfolio, and more broadly under the VP of People and Strategy. It signals a purposeful transition from primarily physical space to how everyone, patients, staff, and the public interacts with the entire environment and each other. So priority theme number 1, the physical environment. One of the highlights is the parking consultations that have taken place over the last year that have included Patient and Family Advisory Council, the Accessibility Committee, and I don't know the word she's wrote here, but did a 45-minute space audit in May of Lot 2 with 2 community members who live life in wheelchairs. They provided feedback on the positioning of the accessible parking spots relative to the main entrance, while taking into consideration the large slope of where those spots are located. Priority theme number 2, which is the information and communications. Recently, we have got the new lingo translation tablets. We received notice in January that our previous vendor was pulling out of the Canadian market effective March 31st. And in very short order, CMH evaluated and executed a smooth transition to a new provider with a very similar end user experience for staff and patients. Priority theme number 3, which is the training. CMH specific accessibility training module has launched. It launched in April of 2026. This module is now providing staff with more CMH specific training. Each new staff member will need to complete the AODA required legislative training, which is only required to do once. And so the committee felt as though by putting in a more CMH based training for staff, that it would be much more helpful than learning about the legal requirements of accessibility and all those things. The legal concept of duty to accommodate is up to the point of undue harm, physical features of the newish construction and newly renovated spaces at CMH. And CMH specific aids and equipment are all the types of things that the staff will now receive in the new CMH training. Priority theme number 4, employment. Partnership with the Waterloo Catholic District School Board, both as year 2 project search site and the inaugural Discovery Day that occurred on April 30th. Some of you, I think most of you would have been here when we introduced Project Search last year, but they are a group of interns that we have that come in and do an internship from September to June with CMH. We had 6 interns, I believe, this year throughout the hospital, and one of them is actually working now full-time in our stores department, which is our part-time, which is really exciting. And Discovery Day, for those that aren't familiar with it, it was a staff initiative from one of our staff members who brought in, working with the school board, a group of students to help get them familiar with the experience of a hospital. And that was, I think it was on CTV News, and there was a lot of things about that. So that was what Discovery Day was. And priority theme number 5, community engagement. In partnership, so in building on that, in partnership with Project Search, CMH had a booth at the National Accessibility Trade Show that was held on June 1st and June 2nd at the Ken Sealing Museum, where CMH highlighted both the physical features and the partnership with Project Search. We've consistently heard positive accolades about CMH throughout the 2-day trade show, and we were the only hospital there at the show, at the trade show as well. And that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
You did a fabulous job on short notice stuff. Thank you. What questions do people have for Tom?
Just a quick question actually about the deck. The shore remediation, I think up to this point has been all in camera. Is that information that was data released, and just double checking to make sure that it's not in the wrong spot?
Yeah, no, it's the project is finished. So just for everyone's education, in terms of the improvements we did in Wing B to the showers that I looked to Stephanie, all of that for the sloping has been completed. Staff are all back, and so.
Sorry, just double checking.
Sure. I have a quick question on AODA. Are I know we're compliant, but are we just compliant? Are we doing a little bit better in terms of consultation with people with mobility issues? I see that coming as a big trend with the aging population using more wheelchairs and things like that.
Yes, so we are, like, with our training and all that, we are compliant with AODA requirements, but the committee has really shifted more towards focusing on those types of things because we are compliant. Our physical space meets code and all of the things. The committee meets 4 times a year and discusses different challenges or things that we could improve upon within our space. So yeah, I think we've moved in a really great direction to kind of accommodate the needs of the folks that we have visiting us.
And I think the consultation of community members that were in wheelchairs was really, really valuable. And it did, even though we may be compliant, they did point out some opportunities for us that could be improved upon. So I thought that was really good.
Other questions? And Abdul Qayyum is Stephanie. Please feel free to ask questions if you have any as you're going through, because it is a steep learning curve when you're going. And if there's anything that comes up that we can do to help you understand something, just ask.
Thank you.
Right. Well, oh, sorry.
So just a clarification on the Project Search. So is there more, so it sounds like there's more schools going to be on board, like are both boards or?
I believe right now, pretty confident in this answer, but I believe it is just the Waterloo Catholic District School Board that Project Search does partner with. That was one of the questions we heard a lot at the trade show, is folks wanting to know more of how they can get people enrolled. And so, yeah, it is a distinct partnership between them and the Catholic School Board right now.
There's nothing to say that it couldn't be both boards at some point, it just begs them.
Yeah. It would be, yeah, it's through there. Project Search is actually, I believe it's a US based, and yeah, absolutely. But CMH is participating again next year. So and I think some of you are going to be joining the exciting graduation tomorrow night. So
Which is a great segue, because the graduation is tomorrow night at 5 o'clock here, and it's open to the entire board. Everyone is absolutely welcome to come if you're free. So please do. I thought I was speaking, but I'm not. So because I got the script and I had a little panic. It said, "Hello, I'm Lynn Weller, board chair," and I was like, I called Patrick. I'm like, "No, I won't be." I said, "Should I say past chair?" Because it's tomorrow. And he goes, "No, we need the chair speaking." So Diane's, I'm just coming as a guest. But no, everyone is welcome tomorrow. It's 5 to 6, I believe. So yes.
We had a board meeting last year, so didn't we?
It was, we asked.
Last year was actually the 9th. So
We ran down before, yeah.
okay, great. Thank you, Steph. So moving on to page 70 is the board chair's report, my final one. And I do want to thank everyone. Over the past 2 months, May and June, once again, you have continued to show up and support the hospital at so many different events. For those of the grand rounds, I guess it was just Margaret, Jane, and I, but it was incredibly interesting on Maid, absolutely fascinating. I think we could have stayed on much longer than the hour. But yeah, huddles, just all the work that everyone has done over the past 2 months. So thank you. And now you get to have a relaxing 2 months before you jump back in the fall again. And with that, I will move on to page 75 and pass it over to Paula.
Thank you, Lynn. So we'll start on page 75 of your package. And so understand that everyone would have taken some time to go deep into the briefing notes, but I did want to highlight a few items from the May financial statements. We did have Spencer join us, the senior financial analyst. He joined the committee meeting for his first time. And he did a phenomenal job, and the committee really enjoyed hearing from him and all the hard work that he's doing along with the team. So it was really phenomenal. We are starting the May financials with a $685,000 deficit year to date. That's led by 1.1 million from IT equipment that was sourced in 2025, 2026, but actually received and realized in 26, 27. So the messaging here has really been around making sure that the spend and delivery of equipment is realized in the year that it's forecasted and agreed to. We also saw 276,000 contracted services to Clear Vision, which is being maintained for cataract surgeries, along with Tri-City Endo, which that contract is frozen and expected to be discontinued. In accounts receivables attributed to the higher billing rates, cancer care drug cost increases as well. And just as a follow-up to a previous committee meeting, we did determine that our FEC4 from the CRP, it's built into the long-term liabilities, deferred capital grants on page 79 of the balance sheet, or sorry, on the balance sheet on page 79 of your package. Revenues were led by QBP being favorable by 585,000 year to date, and billable patient services. So this was a regional target set by all regional hospitals coming into the year. The management had understood that this might be a bit of a stretch goal for the hospital, but we will be given that insurance coverages, patient consent is being offset by certain strategies that management is leveraging to capture this information. We'll be leveraging contingency to balance that component of the budget. We do continue to see expense pressures from salaries and wages, medical and surgical supplies and drug expenses. We do have a balance sheet with a 1.48 current ratio, and cash flow deficit is expected for March 2027 with use of debt anticipated, but to stay within the 20 million that we forecasted. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions or phone a friend if I need some help.
Before I open it for questions, Trevor, anything that you'd like to add?
Just a reminder, this is early days. It gives us a line of sight. Obviously, the receipt of the equipment is something we need to reflect on. Cut off earlier in the fiscal year, we'll do that. We'll make that course correction. I would still forecast a balanced budget on this. We're going to be tighter though this year because our world is changing.
Thanks. Thanks, Paulo. Thanks, Trevor. What questions do people have? Not seeing any. Would you like to put fourth motion, Paulo?
That the CMH Board of Directors accepts the May 2026 financial statements as presented by management and upon recommendation of the Resources Committee at its meeting of the June 22nd, 2026.
Seconder, please. Bill, thank you. Any additional questions or comments? Anyone opposed? Carried. Great, thank you. Bill, on to page 81, Quality Committee report to the board.
Right, thank you, Lynn. So, Quality Committee, we had our last meeting of the year last Wednesday. It was a hybrid, so we had the opportunity for some people to meet in person as well as having people online. So the biggest thing, or we had a couple of program presentations, and the first one was the diagnostic imaging. So just to kind of, and it's in page 81 and also in package 2. So the presentations are in there if you've had the opportunity to look at them. So just maybe just to give an overview again, what kind of the volumes, they got 127,403 total exams over 25-26. And sort of the top 4, like X-ray, ultrasound, CTs, and MRI, that sort of represents 85% of those exams. The staff is 6 radiologists, 42 medical radiation technologists, 16 medical sonographers, 25 clinical administration staff. And really like who they support is, I think was surprising to the committee, 51% of our outpatients, 36% in ED, and 13% of our inpatients. So certainly diagnostic imaging certainly plays, or is certainly a key enabler of patient flow. So some of the statistics you'll see in there is the radiologist reporting turnaround time. So for inpatient, the median is around 25 minutes. For ED, the median is about 38 minutes, and overall is the median is about 27 minutes. So certainly that's key in keeping flow and keeping patients flowing through the hospital. We certainly had heard a great deal of compliments from the patient voice right from the beginning. So when booking and rebooking, just that feeling of support that's being provided to patients when they are here, just the guidance that they're finding to get to where they need to be, and that care that's being exhibited while they're here for the test. And again, just that they're always received by that warm and welcome and that assurance of being prepared. When they engage with the technologists and the clinicians, just that they're feeling their reduction of anxiety, just building that trust through their kindness and reassurance, and that their skills certainly come through while they're here. And again, also that timely and reliable reporting. So that's certainly a lot of great positive feedback that patients are providing as they come to diagnostic imaging. Some of the growth, the clinical growth, the ultrasound growth, the MRI project is coming in the fall of 2026. Choosing wisely, the Ocean e-referral, and again, choosing wisely the diagnostic imaging, the regional leadership that the CMH is showing. And also to CMH, the diagnostic imaging, they're supporting the regional care transformation by participating in the early implementation of the Ontario abdominal aortic aneurysm screening program. So they're supporting that in that early detection and prevention. So again, all very sort of positive and certainly great work being done. Because we were in person, some of the committee members had the opportunity to tour diagnostic imaging. So I think it was certainly impressive. Just the quality of the people that we met, certainly the quality, and you can certainly get an understanding of the equipment and the high-end technology that's being implemented both from X-ray, the CT. We did get a peek. Dinesh, the project manager, gave us a peek into the new MRR room. So it looks like it's coming along, and I know he's excited. I think it's in September. I think it really kicks off from the supplier. So certainly, and it was talked about too, just that it's been talked about here, is just the opportunity or the ask to keep the current MRI also in service to sort of help again patient flow and the backlog. So again, just a very input and certainly the feedback from the committee members was just impressed on certainly all the work that's being done in diagnostic imaging. And just the care that's being intensified. Great work there. The other presentation or the other update we had was through our laboratory medicine program. So again, just an update on quality and performance and the modernization. So again, the lab certainly is critical in supporting timely diagnostic, the treatment planning, the patient safety, the flow, inpatient care and outpatient services that really is supporting across the whole broader operations. The program provides certainly the core laboratory services and any kind of specialized testing. With microbiology, they support that through referral and through outside arrangements through external organizations. So again, some of the stats, again, it's kind of staggering when you think about it, over 1 million chemistry and hematology tests annually, which is on the rise. It's about an 8% increase from previous years. 6 pathologists, 3 pathology assistants, 21 medical laboratory technologists, 26 medical laboratory assistants, and 3 laboratory administrative support staff. Again, very positive patient voice. Talked about the treatment they received was absolutely superb. All of the staff, including the lab team, were wonderful. The staff allowed the patient to have that full confidence in the quality of care they're receiving. The lab technicians they demonstrated excellent skills and managed to complete a venipuncture on a one try. So it's the one poke experience, which was certainly appreciated, for the testing. And again, the lab continues to use incident reporting to review, their ongoing quality and safety monitoring by identifying, any reoccurring themes and understanding what's contributing to those themes and the factors. Then again, trying to support continuous improvement. The lab in September 2025 was recognized or achieved a 98.3% score on the accreditation assessment. And again, they're also very much supporting the Choosing Wise initiatives, and they've achieved their quality improvement status designation. So again, great work by the lab as well. We also had an update from the Parent Family Advisory annual update. I know that's in our package, so we'll hear a bit more about that. But really what the committee, the feedback they really provided was just how significant the PFAC, the significant breadth and the impact and how effective PFAC has been across really the whole organization and supporting some initiatives and the strong leadership and engagement that PFAC has engaged in. And I know Jane was one of the founding PFAC members. So here we are, I think 12 years later, and really probably proud of the work that's accomplished with PFAC. So great job. We also talked about our looking forward to next year. So our draft sort of quality committee goals for 26-27. So similar to what we talked about at our June meeting. So really our focus or our quality focus will be on really supporting, quality and patient safety through the implementation of the new HIS. We're certainly going to support in that, hopefully that focus of HIS, and we're going to pause the program presentations temporarily, probably into early 2027, just to give everybody that opportunity to focus on HIS. But we'll still be getting the regular, certainly scorecard updates, the answer reports, any critical updates. They'll certainly still be still coming forward to the committee, as well as HIS program or progress and inequality implications. And we do recognize, I think, as a committee, that as we transition, there may be some delay, certainly in some of the data, and there may be a disruption in data and some of that reporting, and the timelines may stretch out a bit. But certainly, the committee members recognize that next year will be a little bit different, and certainly not business as usual, but still keep the eye on the ball of quality. And we had the opportunity to, as you see in the package, the quality monitoring scorecard and good update for our medical advisory committee update. And the last thing I just want to talk about is we did do our annual survey of the quality committee members. Really very strong, strongly satisfied with either agreeing or strongly agreeing that the committee is certainly effective, doing the presentations are very effective and thorough. And really the discussion of the committee members is very thorough and meaningful. And certainly we did say goodbye to a couple of our hospital board members as they move on to other exciting opportunities. But we also look forward to welcoming 2 new hospital board members as well in September. So my support for this month.
Great. Thanks, Bill. What questions do people have for Bill? Monica.
Is the diagnostic imaging team, is that a 24/7 operation?
I think
Yeah, so our department runs 24/7 to service inpatients and emerge patients. We have outpatients actually booked for a good portion of that 24 hours.
And is it same kind of complement of staff during the day, or does it kind of smaller staff like during the?
It is a smaller staffing for the evenings and overnight, but it is fully functional. MR is running and CT and straight ultrasound till 11, but we're available 24/7.
Other questions? Sarah.
Hi, my question is on the MRI, and I think it's great that we're keeping the older one. But I'm thinking as new patients come, is it no difference whether they go to the old machine or the new one? Or is there anything that makes this patient go to the new one or the other one?
Great question. The new one will actually be in the new wing. So it is going to be the primary magnet that we're going to use. The existing one is going to stay where it is, which is a great location for our outpatients. So we're going to try and use that and take advantage of that. Both magnets are amazing. Obviously, the new one has, some technologies to make things faster, but also much easier for us to bring in inpatients and more complex patients. And so we'll be leveraging that in the main department. But we're hoping to have that redundancy with having these old magnets on site.
And a follow-up is, how would that help you with the existing flow? Emergency department flows, is it gonna make a big difference or not really?
It will actually increase access in general. So if we do have more people as outpatients, as you heard Bill say, we service all buckets of patients. And so it will allow shorter wait times for our patients. And if there was an incident where we needed more access from an inpatient perspective, we could leverage the second one. Because it's a lot more flexibility.
Thank you.
And could that then lead to increased usage of our ORs because we're able to get patients in for that imaging faster?
Correct. So pre-op planning, stagings, like all of it, yeah, it's access.
Yeah.
Now I saw,
And
Stephanie.
I don't think there's any risk from old to new, like appropriate patients would be designated either way, right? I mean, and any emergent patients coming in, we get access immediately, no matter what's happening. So it provides more access, but I don't think we've ever
No.
been at risk that way.
No, there's no difference in the sense that the one thing about radiology is that we're always upgrading. So you'll see some actually very old magnets that in the province that have been upgraded to current state because they keep upgrading software and even hardware. They can rebuild the whole magnet actually from existing. So and that's our commitment to always keeping equipment current.
That's good to know and might be something, some sort of educational component because we wouldn't want someone in the community thinking they were getting.
The old magnet.
Yes, so Patrick or Stephanie, I'm not sure who wants to.
Hope you're gonna say what I.
Yes, I feel pressure now. I think too, that we have to operate within funded volumes. And so we're always advocating. I mean, Winnie could probably do a lot of patients, but we have to have funding to do that. And being that this year we're moving into a bit of a different space, we're trying to be a little more financially accountable. We have to ensure that we receive funding for any volume that we do. So Winnie's been and Winnie and Ken have been advocating since we knew the new MR was coming. They've been a bit relentless, I'm sure. So we're hopeful that will a lot of that.
So I understand we put the application in ages ago. It's just pending still.
Yeah,
So-
years ago. And there's a lot of ways to run a magnet. And so we advocate, and there's always, extra dollars here and there that you can advocate for. The goal is always to put the effort to keep it running as best as we can. And so, yeah, that's just the day-to-day work of advocacy.
Definitely said, but.
Ever the businessman, is there any possibility if we get to our funding limit and still have capacity of, being available to other hospitals or whatever, on a fee basis?
We don't charge patients for the.
No.
Oh,
But if some other hospital said we would like to, because we're running behind and we have some capacity that we're, that's a possibility.
yeah, it has been done before where hospitals need support and we can share sort of allocated funding to help other organizations. We did that during COVID, actually. We moved patients around as required. Ontario Health is really good of keeping an eye of what your utilization is and what they actually give you as an envelope. And that's part of the advocacy, is that to always give them that data to allow for those shifts. If they see wait lists going higher or lower in another area.
It's great that we have the flexibility. It'd be greater still to use it.
Yes, I mean, at the very least, you have a segment magnet if one should need preventive maintenance, or if it goes down for whatever reason, it doesn't means that we don't have to ship patients elsewhere. So even at the very least, it is very important to have that from our perspective. But it is all about making the pitch to operate.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think just excellent question, Miles. Just understanding that the goal of the e-referral program, like that across Ontario, is to balance wait times. And so where we or other organizations have great wait time, they'll be pushed to take volume from elsewhere. That will change our wait times. But this idea that you can get a scan somewhere in 2 days and somewhere else in 89 days, the government through this e-referral, and it's beyond diagnostic imaging. This is the whole idea, kind of central intake, leveling the playing field. In spite of fundraising and for our MRI, it will ultimately have access, as will our surgical programs. And beyond that is this idea of kind of creating more equitable access across zones and regions. Asking patients, are you willing to travel 70 kilometers for an MRI? Because you can get that in 3 days rather than waiting at your local hospital for 80 days or something. I mean, big push around that. In fact,
How long does that work? E-referral system.
we're in the beginning in the early days.
Well, actually, no, it's live. So
Yeah.
it's live. It is. I would say that Ontario Health West is a bit transformative. We're the first of the regions to really be so fulsome in terms of a comprehensive central intake and e-referral program for diagnostic imaging, but other programs like orthopedics and things like that. Tried it before, but sometimes a lot of times it doesn't work. And so I think Ontario Health West has done a great job in trying to rally all the hospitals and all the providers to work towards load balancing of volumes as well as access. And it takes a lot of support from all the hospitals. As Patrick said, some wait times will go longer and some will go lower. And so I think it's that understanding that we're all working towards equitable access for all patients. And so we're a big participant in this initiative. I think it will be a significant change for access for OH plus patients.
But maybe better knowing what that impact is by September, like by the fall, after it's had a bit more time to?
It has just started in Hamilton, who is the central provider of the intake office. We probably won't see it fully fulsome until probably the new year. So it's a slow ramp up. Because it's a they've had a proof of concept, but to understand how this is going to thread between multiple hospitals.
So hold that question.
Yes.
For like next month.
Next year. Yes, next fiscal. Yeah.
Okay, other questions? Okay, great. Thanks, Bill. All right, so for PFAC, we had our meeting on June 9th. In the package is the kind of annual update for PFAC, going over like all the primary themes that were covered this year. I won't touch on that because I know you've all read that. I'm just going to touch on our last meeting. So as always, we had our HIS update, and this time it was on patient and family communication strategy. Diana Crawford attended. Lots of engagement from PFAC around wanting to ensure the communications are patient and family centered. We discussed having a multimedia approach to help share that information, helping people understand what differences that they might see short-term and long-term, helping alleviate concerns that people might have, especially repeat hospital visitors who maybe are used to one thing and are suddenly going to see something new, educating the volunteers so that they can share information, and then also making sure we highlight to patients and families what those long-term benefits are going to be. Diana also presented the DEI AR policy update, which sets CMH's commitment and expectations around DEI AR, their framework for action and accountability. It's still in the development stages. 13 different groups within the hospital were consulted, and PFAC was the last of those 13. So we can expect to see that coming back in a formal method, I would say probably in the fall. We also got the semi-annual patient experience update and plan. And my favorite part is always the time when the PFAC members say what they've been working on for the prior month, because they sit on so many committees and it's always and within the blogger community. And it's incredibly interesting just hearing what they've all been up to. So any questions for me? There are a few other things I'll touch on in our next meeting. Any questions? Okay. Great. Diane, EA update.
The VA then had their annual general meeting on June 18th. Their featured speaker was Lisa Hood, who's the Vice President of Philanthropy from YMCA of Three Rivers. Mark Squire was appointed the president. They've had a co-president model over the last year, so Mark is taking on the president's role. Yvonne Keane will be the vice president. A new business manager was appointed, Catherine Petton, who's a longtime volunteer here at CMH. The finance director will be Sandra Highgate, and a new director, Jennifer Warren. They've been working closely with finance since Gloria retired, who was their bookkeeper. So very pleased with all the work that's happened there, Trevor. So thanks on behalf of the VA. The bylaws were updated, but they didn't quite make it to the AGM, so they'll be coming in the fall to their general meeting. The Cambridge Gaming and Bingo Hall has a group of volunteers who work shifts every single week on behalf of the VA. And this year they generated over $70,000 in profit. And as well, the businesses, the Upcycle Thrift downtown, Tim's, and the gift shop also all generated profits this year. So they presented a check for $110,000 to the foundation, which is a huge, huge turnaround for the VA. The awards were provided for the multiple years. There was a volunteer who has been there at CMH for over 25 years, and she received an award. There was 117 people recognized, and the youth award was awarded to Tim Lamb, and you might have seen him in the package related to the patient experience team. He worked on the Lost Belongings Innovation Project and made a huge difference to the success of that project. And so the VA board is pleased to welcome Jane to their board in September.
Any questions for Diane? Great. Thanks, Diane. Patrick, it says no open matters for discussion. Have you changed your mind?
No, I haven't.
Okay. All right. So with that, upcoming events, Grand Rounds, it doesn't have a date here. Steph, do you know? Oh, tomorrow, okay, so everyone will have received the invitation, and if you're interested, please join. The Clean Street Car Show is on August 9th. We have a very short list of upcoming events. I'm sure it'll be much bigger in September. The next meeting is Wednesday, October 7th. And may I have a motion to terminate the meeting? Oh, thank you. Okay, it is 5 to 6. We will resume at 6:10.